Does the Shadows of Change suck? It's an age-old question, and I'm delighted to give you my unfettered and unabridged opinion on it today. Now, there has been a lot of controversy about this title. The Reddit forums have been frothing at the mouth about the price of this, and there's been a lot of coverage of that. Plenty of other content creators have delved into this, so you have a lot to choose from. I'll try not to retread any old ground, and keep things as succinct and fresh as possible to help you make an informed judgment on whether you should spend your money on this. My name is Blake, and I bid you my fondest welcome to Blake's Takes, and today I'm going to give you my take on Creative Assembly's Shadows of Change DLC for Warhammer 3. Is my take hot or not? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel out. I've now played 20 turns in the Immortal Empires campaign with each of these factions, enough to give me a taste and flavour of most of what is going on and what is on offer in this pack, and here are my opinions. We'll go faction by faction, and then I'll give you my opinion on whether it's worth your hard-earned money. A lot of your hard-earned money. We'll start with the Changeling. The Changeling is a very different campaign. Lots of people to fight, and lots of people to hide from. Different doesn't necessarily mean good though. I found it a bit directionless for my taste. I don't think I enjoy the pure cult way of playing. It doesn't give me the sense of vanquishing my foes. I'm not sure it's my cup of tea. This was my least favourite campaign out of the three. Tangors are a very basic and not too interesting unit. To be honest, I'd rather just have more horrors than these guys, but I admit that they have their place in the roster. The Mutalith Vortex Beast looks very cool and plays well. The Cockatrice is bugged, and I found it can stop moving if you give it an attack order, or move extremely slowly. The Changeling, I must admit, has some interesting mechanics, but I have to say that the whole cult thing doesn't really tickle my pickle. I'll have to play it a bit more to really get a feel for it, but it feels a bit half-baked. If you get the Parliament of Lies building, you hide all of your buildings, and that's pretty much it. It kind of feels impossible to lose, as your armies are 100% hidden all of the time, as long as they're in an area which has a cult in it. For me, I'd say it's the weakest of the DLC. But a lot of creators have said they really enjoy it, so I think it's just down to tastes and preferences really. Onto Mother Ostankya. Yeah, she's really fun to play. I actually had a blast with her units. The Akshina ambushes are ridiculously strong. You'll basically never recruit another unit. The things in the woods are cool, they have a great animation set, and they do a lot of damage. They're an excellent monstrous infantry. The Dread Elemental is a beast and has a perpetual flock of doom around it. All in all, I think this is a fun campaign. Although she's not in Kislev, I actually really like her start position, even though it's extremely lore inaccurate. So far, I've enjoyed the campaign, but not being able to recruit generic hag lords just feels utterly bonkers. I'm really hoping that that gets changed soon in a future update, because it kind of spoils the immersion for me. Then there's Yuan Bo. Surprisingly, he was my favourite campaign of the bunch. He's really good fun. He's absurdly powerful though. He annihilates enemy lords and heroes, casts spells, can turn into a dragon. His executioner ability is actually absurd. It trivialises the threat of other lords, and I can see it getting a substantial nerf very soon. It does entirely too much damage. The crowmen I found would often bug out and flap back and forth between enemies, not landing and getting stuck. I was very disappointed with that. The Jade Lion is alright, it has a breath attack and is pretty good against infantry, and I found the War Drum to be very lackluster. The animations look very janky, but all in all, it was a fun campaign where you get to choose to give up territorial holdings in Cathay to focus on your Lustria expedition, or you can try and maintain both and have wars on two fronts. I like these kind of choices, I feel they give a lot of depth to the campaign. What's my verdict? Does this game suck? Well, the short answer is yes. The long answer is yes. I must stress that I love Creative Assembly and their products, but with all the issues Total War Warhammer 3 has, scalping the people who have stuck with the game through its lackluster debut in 2022 just feels like a terrible move. To the fine folks who were on the fence, I say wait for a sale. This DLC could have been good if it was polished and priced correctly. The fact that this is the same price as the Forge of Chaos Dwarfs is laughable. For the same price you got an entirely new race, units and a new lore of magic, and even then I'd say the Chaos Dwarfs were expensive for what you got. There's some cool ideas in this DLC, but the execution has been rushed. There's so many bugs, and there is nowhere near the level of polish and content I would expect for a $25 DLC. You may recall when I reviewed the Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs that I wanted it on the record that I don't agree with CA's price increases, and this is doubly so for this one. I don't know what their strategy is here, but if it's to annoy all of their long-standing customers who have supported them over the years, then I'd say that's working. CA, as I've stated in multiple videos since the Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs provoked me into starting this YouTube channel, please, I implore you to listen to your fans. This offering just simply isn't worth $25. Now, then again, value is subjective, so there will be plenty of folks who are okay with paying $25 for this, and that's fine. How people spend their money is entirely up to them. But ask yourself, are we really getting anywhere near as much content as the Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs? I'd say we absolutely aren't. And to all the folks who are saying that costs are up, the price should rise too, etc., I say yes, their costs probably are up. They opened a new office in Newcastle. But why should the consumer have to pay nearly double what they paid for the Champions of Chaos DLC, which arguably had a similar amount of content? I do not accept that this is down to anything other than executive greed. There are things outside of Creative Assembly's control, like the myriad of bugs that affect the game. But this large price increase is firmly within their control. They can change it at any time should they wish to. As Legend of Total War so eloquently said, vote with your wallets on this one. I've been Blake, delivering my take. Thank you all so much for watching.